Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid predicaments. Ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery.
You know, I'm thinking I probably need a longer intro song. All right, so I haven't done this in a long time. I feel kind of rusty, but I've always been kind of rusty, even when it wasn't, you know? Yeah, there's so much stuff going on. I just felt like I had to bitch about it. So, and it's not even going to be any proper, like, sequential order. I'm probably going to be bouncing around from topic to topic and article to article like a kid with no ADHD meds, you know? So I guess I'll just go at it, I guess. Let's see. I don't know. Well, say hi to everybody. All right, let's see. Share screen. Do entire screen because, yeah, I don't feel like pushing the button changes it from tab to tab, you know? So, let's see. All right, we'll start with this one. Now, I don't know if y'all know who Laura Loomer is, but she's a fucking bizarre-ass bitch who's been trying to get on Trump Jr.'s dick for a while. Like, she keeps doing this pick-me shit, acting, screaming extra crazy as she can, because she's been... Yeah, you'd have to look into Laura Loomer. Like, she's nuts. But anyway, so this wild bitch right here, she posted the other day, take screenshots of every single right-winger who is shit-talking Trump right now. Post them under this post. I have most of them, but I don't want to miss any. So she's wanting people, I think they're planning on doxing people. Because they're trying to usher in a company called Plantier that is, it's going to basically turn everything into a fucking police state, like an absolute surveillance state. Of course, I couldn't help myself. I'm like, I'll roll out the red carpet for you. Come on. You know? But it's weird. Like, all right, so right here, this lady posts, why must you be so tough? Individuals concerned that it's a genuine worry, not just idle gossip or backstabbing. So she's trying to show concern without sounding like she's betraying Trump. This lady right here. And it's weird. And someone goes, congrats. So apparently, he retweeted her. So apparently they're starting with this lady. And she wasn't even shit-talking. As you can see right here, she wasn't even shit-talking. She's a little concerned about the stuff going on. And hoping if answers can help alleviate people's worries. This isn't even shit-talking. And he's kind of started with this lady. And what's weird, though, is that she goes, that's awesome, but not about me. I don't know what she means. That's awesome, but not about me. I don't know. Hold on. So yeah, this lady's concerned. She's not even shit talking. And on his Truth Social, he's fucking, posting her. But when he posts her, it inadvertently also posts this. Because people will go to it and try and see where that comment was from. So he's basically, bringing attention to this. Not saying don't do it, but basically sharing it without sharing it, if that makes any sense. And that's fucking craziness. Let's go check out this lady real quick. That certainly explains a few things, but yeah. Project Veritas operative. Well, I'm sure she's an operative. I don't know about Project Veritas necessarily, but definitely an operative. I have no doubt. And she's got, there's way too much face filler in that lady. But that's wild, though. Telling people basically to snitch on each other to the state. That's fucking nuts, man. There is no good reason for that. And like I said, they started with that one lady. Like, she didn't even fucking do anything. What was it? Yeah, with D over here. She's, worried. She's not even shit-talking or backstabbing. And they decided that it's her post they're going to share. So, I don't know. It's kind of It's all pretty bad. Actually, I don't know if I have a post for Plantier. Let's see this one. This I thought was wild. Now, I'll get to the articles in a minute, but just some of the stuff that I was stunned to see. Like this guy called Misfit Patriot. I'm okay with as many dead kids as it takes to stop Hamas. That's wild because I assume that the concept of stopping Hamas is to stop people from being killed, correct? I mean, I'm assuming that's the concept because they're supposedly so dangerous that they need to be stopped so innocent people don't die. I'm assuming that's the concept to this. But he's okay with as many dead kids as it takes. At some point, I start to wonder, really, what is the difference between this guy and Hamas, besides funding? And this idiot, this girl, Tenacious Girl 7, I'm with you. I don't care what it takes to eliminate the threat to Israel. It could be 1 million kids. I don't care. What the fuck? At this point, they sound more like terrorists than Hamas does. Because that's crazy. I mean, we've all heard that, does the end justify the means? We've heard that phrase before. Apparently to them it does. Like, if you're okay with 1 million kids dying, I feel like you're a terrorist. Like, I mean, prove me wrong, because that's fucking nuts. Let me see if there's anybody. Hello, Brett. Meow meow. And meow meow to you, Bone. How are you? So glad y'all are here. You can share some of the fucking craziness I've been seeing for a while. I had to share it because just holy shit. Like, can you imagine? I mean, I guess you can't. I guess you can imagine because it's right there. But okay, with as many dead kids as it takes, and this person says they care. I mean, she's got the American flag first, but honestly, I don't think she really means it because I don't care. She goes, I don't care what it takes to eliminate the threat to Israel. She would be willing to sacrifice 1 million kids to protect Israel. Like, what? Lady, you are. And it's her name right here, Tenacious Girl 7. I mean, if you want to go pay her a visit, I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to. But goddamn, these people are. I hope these people don't have kids. Yeah, these people would be so happy to send their kids overseas to die for Israel. Like, can you imagine loving a country more than your children, or being okay with 1 million? There's no reason. There is no good reason for 1 million kids to die for any cause. Like, at some point, it's not. I mean, supposedly this is like, because Jesus and stuff. Do you really think Jesus would want you to sacrifice 1 million kids for Israel? Really? Because I don't think so. Fairly sure not. But whatever. What shit shows over here? Oh my God. So this was great. So Ted Cruz gets interviewed by Tucker Carlson. And let me tell you the whooping that Ted Cruz fucking received. That man stumbled over his own words so bad. It was fucking terrific. All right, so I don't think we'll be able to hear the sound, and I don't want to get a copyright hit. So we're going to look at the captions. And so Tucker Carlson's asking about Mossad. He's wanting to know, does Mossad share all their intelligence with us? And Ted Cruz is like, probably not, but they share a lot. Do they spy domestically in the United States? And right here, he admits they probably do. And we do as well, and our friends and allies spy on each other, and I assume all our allies spy on us. And he seems so okay with this. This is I know they're paid off by AIPAC. I know that, but it's so wild to see a sitting senator actually say, sound so cavalier and so casual that foreign countries are spying on us like this was a normal thing. Like, you're at least supposed to pretend it's not fucking normal. Yeah, he starts going into about socialism or something. Like, he's coming up with fluff to talk about instead of focusing on the whether or not we're being spied on and whether or not he's okay with it. He's like, every one of our friends spy on us. That's crazy. And Tucker Carlson asks, is it in America's best interest for Israel to spy on us, including the president of the United States? And Ted Cruz does not deny that Israel is spying on the president. Yeah, Ted Cruz cannot, he's right. Ted Cruz cannot even say the words, I'm not okay being spied on. Ted Cruz gets paid off really well. AIPAC has given this fucker at least $1 million. There's somewhere on Twitter, I can look for it. It'll show you how much people are making from AIPAC. AIPAC tracker. There it is. AIPAC tracker. Let's see. Since Ted Cruz was pretty recent with that interview, they'll probably have him up somewhere. But if I saw it correctly, it was about $1 million he received. Let's see. I don't know who she is, but she's a candidate for Virginia. She's got a shit ton of money. God damn. Let's see. California representative there. I'm surprised they don't have Ted Cruz a little closer to the top after that interview. Thomas Massey's cool. He's one of the few that aren't taking money. This is a pain in the ass. I don't know where it is. But you can go to the AIPAC website and type in Ted Cruz somewhere, and it should tell you how much they've given him. And that's just the part they declare. I mean, there's probably monies and gifts that aren't declared, probably. So, yikes. That dude looks like fucking Lurch. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of people taking money. Oh, what? God damn, brother. That's a lot of fun. Wow, that's gone up because last I saw it, it was like closer to 100 million. Now it's 230 million. Holy shit. God, he's going to kill everybody in the Middle East for them. That's a lot of money. Well, apparently there's just too many dirty ass politicians. I can't get to the one I'm looking for. So, Laura Boebert only got 20,000. Oh wait, did she get more than that? Or nope, she only got 20,000. Wow. You know, her soul would go for a little more, but okay. Well, anyway. So I guess we'll just tackle the news because I can't find fucking Ted Cruz in this shit. It's too many. Hell. Anyway, so I had heard on TikTok that with Iran shelling Israel after their preemptive strike, which means they attacked first. It's just a classy way of saying they attacked first, you know. I heard that Netanyahu had shut down their airport so that his people couldn't leave. And I was like, no fucking way. I was like, nuh-uh. I was like, did he? And it's like, yes, he did. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I don't know if it's reopened, but he was trying to prevent his people from running. Because at the end of the day, the Israeli government will use anybody as a human shield. Now, they prefer to use Palestinians, but they will use their own people if they need to. So, yeah. So apparently Israelis were having to run for it. They were hooping it on foot, heading to Cyprus, Egypt. They're trying to go every fucking direction to get the hell out of there. So that's wild. Can you imagine someone shutting down the airports in a disaster type situation, not letting people leave? Isn't that wild? Like, I mean, I guess it shouldn't surprise me, but it kind of does at the same time, I guess. I don't know. It's wild. Oh, yeah, they are. They're fucking nutcases. Yeah, it's very yikes. Hello, Lady Mist. Mwah. So glad you're here. Hi, Hopper. Sorry, cat. One of the cats. But yeah, let me go back to this. So yeah, I was checking it out because I had heard about it on TikTok, and I'm like, no fucking way. Like, even him, like, are you serious? But no, sure enough. 3 days ago, Israel has closed its main international Ben Gurion airport until further notice, leaving more than 50,000 Israeli travelers stranded abroad. Well, yeah, the people were having a hard time getting back and leaving. So, because TikTok showed a bunch of videos of people piling into the airports trying to get out, and a lot of them couldn't. So that was wild. Yeah, Iran cuts off. Yeah, so they're trying to twist it. Iran cuts off Israel from the entire world. No, what the fuck? Hopper, be quiet. Sorry, the cat's meowing. He gets very vocal if he wants to go outside. He likes to go outside in times that are not convenient to me. Let's see. Canceled flights. All right, you know what? I'm just going to let Hopper out now. I'll be right back, because if I don't, he's just going to keep doing this, honestly. All right, Furbo, let's go. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Cats, you know what I mean? Anywho. All right. So that way, if any of the articles talked about this, you'll see that he did indeed shut the airport down. So yeah, we covered that. Still didn't find who I was looking for in that mess, but so let's go over here. Where is it? Oh, it's here. All right, I'll go over here. This is from like 2 days ago, but conflict in the Middle East causes battle within MAGA ranks. Stay out or fight. Yeah, if ever you want to see a group implode on itself, it'd probably be along these lines. And will be an unheard shout out to Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and that weird guy Matt Gaetz, because now they're on my fucking team, at least temporarily, which surprised me. I actually didn't expect that, but they don't want a war with Iran either, and they, you know what? We'll get to that. So the prospect that President Donald Trump may order an attack on Iran's nuclear facility has torn a rift among leaders of his political base, a coalition party forged by Donald Trump's opposition to previous Middle East wars. Because, yeah, one of the things he was promising us is that we were not going to have wars. Fuck all good that did, huh? When he stood in Trump Tower lobby and announced his first campaign for president 10 years ago, Trump vowed to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. Yeah, well, they end up sending an agreement, apparently, and Iran stuck to the agreement. So, yeah. But he also distinguished himself from the hawks in both parties, bashing the idea of endless wars, especially the conflict in the Middle East that shaped the first 20 years of the 21st century. In the process, he solidified a coalition of voters averse to devoting U.S. resources abroad. But he's done nothing but exactly that the whole fucking time. Honestly. I think I was going to just read this article to myself, and it wasn't actually for, yeah, because it's not all that interesting, really. But seeing them causing a rift amongst each other is kind of interesting. And then I saw this headline. Tech execs are joining the army. No grueling boot camp required. As far as I know, boot camp is supposed to prepare you for some shit. So I guess they're going to be sitting at a desk. I'm guessing. 4 tech execs joined the Army Reserve as lieutenant colonels in the hope of spurring tech transformation. The C-suite execs are set to bypass traditional basic training, serving about 2 weeks annually. The Army is pursuing a major transformation effort. Ah, boy. Oh, here's the company I was telling you about, Plantier. Those fuckers. Yeah, those are the ones that are wanting to basically turn this whole place into a surveillance state. So if you talk negatively about the government, post something talking shit about a politician you don't like, guess what? Yeah. 4 top execs from OpenAI, Meta, and Plantier have just joined the U.S. Army. No obstacle course, shouted orders, or grueling marches required. Oh boy. What could possibly go wrong? The Army Reserve has commissioned these senior tech leaders to serve as mid-level officers, skipping tradition to pursue transformation. The newcomers won't attend any current version of the military's most basic and ingrained rite of passage, boot camp. Amazing what money will get you. Instead, they'll be ushered in through express training that Army leaders are still hashing out. Colonel Dave Butler, a spokesman for the Chief of Staffs. Wait till you hear about some shit that went on with the Chief of Staff, too. I'll show you that in a few minutes. They'll do marksmanship training, physical training. They'll learn the Army rank structure and history and uniforms. He said you could think of it as a pilot of the boot camp light plan, adding that new soldiers are a part of the Army's larger effort to rapidly modernize. Let's see if we can. Let's see if I can pull up a little something about Plantier for y'all. Trust me, it's worse than you can imagine. Yeah, lots of money to be made in this mess. 85% this year. That doesn't sound fucking natural. 85. That's a lot. That's a fucking lot. Let's see. Figured I'd have something that said news that I could click on. That's kind of weird that there's no option for news for Plantier. Well, TikTok is absolutely talking about it. Plantier scandal. There's a scandal? What do you want to know? I mean, they're getting away with ushering in Plantier basically by saying, hey, we're going to spy on immigrants and make sure you don't have any illegals. But if they can be used for them, it can be used for us, and it will. It absolutely will. Everybody who's ushering this in and cheering for it, and actually a few Republicans are starting to get kind of nervous about it. They're kind of like, wait, this isn't that what I voted for. But in a fucked up way, it kind of is. Trump appears to be building an unprecedented spy machine. Yeah, that's about what I wanted to show y'all. So, they can track Americans, and I guarantee if it's not already doing it, it will be soon. A new report shines light on contracts with tech company Plantier, which could create data profiles of Americans to surveil and harass them. As Donald Trump and his administration pursue crippling austerity measures across the country, they're plunging millions of dollars into the president's pet projects, and including reportedly giving hundreds of millions of dollars. Guess whose money that is? That's y'all's money, by the way. To a company that's expanding the government's ability to spy on its own citizens. The New York Times has a new report on the administration awarding contracts to the controversial tech company Plantier, which is apparently helping Trump develop a database of Americans' private information scraped from various government agencies that could theoretically be used to track and persecute them. And remember when I showed you Laura Loomer's Twitter, where she wanted people to show screenshots of anyone talking shit about Trump? Yeah, it's going to get so much fucking worse. Absolutely fucking worse. So show y'all that bit. Y'all can go and check that out on your own time. But it, like, you know, well, I guess this is our time. You know what I mean. All right. So saw this. So yeah, I can't even express to you how much worse all of it's going to be. I don't feel like reading the whole articles, but I do want to bring your attention to certain things so that way y'all can go check it out. Trump teases a possible U.S. strike as Iran's supreme leader warns America. Trump teased a possible U.S. strike on Iran while the country's supreme... When was this? A day ago. Okay. The supreme leader warned of irreparable damage if America joined Israel's air war, as the president and his national security team huddled to discuss the next course of action. How about not fucking doing it? Although I am concerned that we already are in a little bit more than a supporting role over there. Yeah, according to some articles and stuff I've seen, Trump said he'll give his answer in about 2 weeks, which is oddly specific for me. I don't know. But I think part of what's going on is that they want to get a few things in place first before officially, announcing that we're involved in this. They want to, because they know some people, they're starting to see that a lot of their base are not wanting this. A lot of them. A lot of people that were, yay, Trump, like last year, are like, A lot of people are worried about this right now, and they should be. They should be fucking worried. And so I think he wants to secure a few things before he comes out and admits he's already done it. In fact, in the interview with Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz accidentally admitted that we're already helping. And I don't know if I have the video handy, but somewhere the Tucker Carlson interview is there. You can find it. Trust me, But I think what it is also is there's one article said that Israel is in limbo right now while Trump decides whether or not he's going to help them. And I think actually what it is I think part of this is to distract from what they're doing in Gaza and the West Bank. I have not heard much about the West Bank. I doubt it's being spared. But I think they have actually ramped up what they're doing to the Gazans and Palestine. And the thing with Iran is they decided now was the time to do it, because if they can distract us with Iran and everything going on, all eyes are going to be on that. Because they've already been absolutely just genociding the fuck out of Palestine. So if everybody's eyes are looking at Iran right now, and everybody's like, yeah, Palestine is not the forefront of their mind anymore. So they're going to ramp it up, and they're hoping, and I guess maybe Trump's giving them 2 weeks to, he's going to turn a blind eye for 2 weeks. And it's possible that they're going to finish ethnically cleansing Palestine and the West Bank. So by the time all the dust settles, people will be so focused on Iran and forget about Gaza for a minute. I mean, if you look at all the damage they've done while we were looking, imagine what damage they're going to do when we're not looking. My TikTok has been full of stuff about Iran, almost nothing about Gaza. And when I say Gaza, I mean West Bank as well. I just forget to mention it, but basically where the Palestinians are. Anyway, and Iran is certainly an interesting choice. Let's see. All right. So I may do it. I may not do it, Trump says. Nobody knows what I'm going to do. He sounds like a loose cannon. Next week's going to be very big. He said maybe less than a week. That's not good. And also, I may not have the article up as well because my brain has been absolutely ADHDing all over the fucking place. So I apologize for that. So if you're taking notes, good. But they're sending out a naval ship, and I think it's being sacrificed. What it is it's called the USS Nimitz. The USS Nimitz is supposed to be, decommissioned next year. So why the fuck are they sending out a 50-year-old fucking naval ship out there when it's being decommissioned next year? But if it's a ship that they're going to basically decommission and they have no further use for, that's the perfect ship to sacrifice. So if someone sinks the Nimitz and blames it on Iran, that would give America the excuse to enter the war officially, because they would have fired upon a U.S. naval ship. So if you've ever heard of someone, like in a movie, they're called it's a Nimitz class destroyer or a carrier, or rather, things like that. I believe the USS Nimitz is where it got its inspiration for that, because I believe it Nimitz class ships. I believe what qualifies that to be Nimitz is nuclear propulsion, and I think the ability to carry, a certain amount of ships and stuff on it. I can't remember exactly what the classification or what qualifies for that, so I apologize. But I'm sure you recognize the name. So I'm thinking if they're sending out a 50-year-old fucking ship out there that's supposed to be decommissioned next year, I feel like they're sending out something that they have no further need for, and therefore, except for the the crew on the ship, which the government really doesn't care about, it would be something easy to sacrifice as an excuse. Like, oh, if they're going to shoot anything, let it be this. This will give an excuse to enter the war. Again, we have a lot of new ships. Why send a 50-year-old ship out there? So, and he's saying that next week is going to be very big, maybe less than a week. Well, as far as I know, the USS Nimitz just arrived in that area, I think a day or two ago. So if the Nimitz gets shot and sunk or attacked in any way, I'm going to tell you right now, it wasn't fucking Iran that did it. Google the USS Liberty, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So I just want to put that on I want to stamp that part of my bingo card for 2025. So let me come back over here and see how everything's going. So, hello, Gorilla. Oh, guys. Oh, I missed some people. Holy shit. Hello, PvP. Circumstances change. Iran is a terrorist state. They lie all the time. Trump is just responding to current events. I'm not the biggest fan of Trump, but he's better than many other world leaders. I think they're all terrible, to be honest. Our prime minister... Oh, okay, you're Canadian. Right. Yeah, that's right. Our prime minister is useless. I have heard that, and my condolences to you for that, because you went from one shitty prime minister to another, and I'm sorry for that. America's not doing much better. Wrong. U.S. and Israel are the terrorist state, the biggest state sponsors of terrorism. Yeah, if you look at the numbers and the stats, it's pretty bad. So Brett's correct. But we still respect what you have to say before it gets any worse. Oh, gotta run. All right, lots of hugs. Be safe. Be good. Qapla' to you as well, Gorilla. How are you? Let's see. Apparently, since Iran isn't surrendering, we were sending our best. I don't think that was a real tweet. That was funny, though. That was funny. That would actually have been funny if he tweeted that. I don't know if he did, because I think it was done on True Social. I'm going to call it a tweet anyway, even though it's not Twitter. I don't have True Social, so I don't know if it's a real post that he did. But if he did, I will give him a gold star for humor, because that is fucking funny. Because when Hillary kills somebody, they do stay dead. He's not wrong, So, oh, sorry. That's funny. I'm sorry. But I don't blame Iran for not surrendering, because Israel struck first. I mean, they'll be like, well, it was a preemptive attack. That's what striking first means. Pre, as in before, first, preemptive strike. So they've been actually shooting at Iran on and off since the last 2 years. Well, probably longer, but they hit near one of their embassies last year, I think it was. Israel did to Iran. They have been throwing shit over the fence at them for a while now, to be honest. But they're like, well, they did a preemptive strike because we were sure they were going to do something. And then apparently when Iran responded, apparently they were quite surprised. Somewhere there is a video of Itamar Ben-Gvir, fuck, I hate that man, yelling with somebody else. And he's like, apparently it's something along the lines. The other guy was like, why the fuck is this happening? Why, I forget what it was. Like, why didn't you know that Iran had these capabilities? And like, we didn't know they had this kind of capabilities. So apparently, and here's what gets me. If that's the case, so if Iran is such a dangerous country that they're in danger of them, why is their shelling capabilities a surprise? That's what I don't get. So they either have the weapons you thought they did or they don't. So what it really is they didn't actually know that Iran could defend itself. So if you didn't think Iran could defend itself, then I assume that you didn't really think Iran was a threat to begin with. You know what I mean? That's just kind of where I'm at on that. Yeah. Thank you, sugar. I wonder how many are left. How many? Oh, you see my battleship. Right? Yeah. If you have any kind of way where you're like looking up stuff, and I think sometimes the browsers would be like, hey, click this button if you want updates on it. Keep an eye on the USS Nimitz. Like, I'm not even joking. Oh, it was a fake? Okay. I do find it funny as well. It was fun. Like, low-key, I kind of wish it had been real because, like, even in times of war, I think we should make fun of Hillary. Absolutely. It's always time to do that, I think. You know what? Actually, it's us funded. Because people say that, but it's like, oh, hold on. That's far too logical, Mora, able to defend themselves. Right. So, like, if they're so dangerous, then you should have expected a shelling. If them fighting back is a surprise and then you didn't think they could fight in the first place, then that makes you a bully. That's not a preemptive strike. That's bullying. Like, that's, again, how I see it. Oh, okay. I saw the fuck you at first. I thought you were yelling at me, but censor bot. I'm so sorry if it censored you. I do apologize. I generally don't censor people unless they're doing something where they're trying to say like racist shit to get me in trouble on my channel, or they're, I would censor that, but yeah, people just giving their opinion or whatever. Yeah, indeed, they are. This is correct. So I am sorry if it does censor you. I apologize. Does Iran want to touch our boat? No, they don't. If anything hits the USS Nimitz or any of our ships, there's a decent chance that it was not Iran. They will blame Iran. That is why they are sending a 50-year-old ship. I don't know if it's a destroyer, or I don't think it's a destroyer. I think it might be a carrier. Let me look it up real quick because I can't fucking remember. Because there's so many boats. It's hard to remember. Remember the last time someone touched one of our boats? Kind of. Because if you look up the USS Liberty, Israel hit the USS Liberty and tried to blame Egypt because they wanted us to get into a war with Egypt. So, USS Nimitz. It is a Nimitz class, obviously, because it's in the fucking name. Aircraft carrier. That is what it is. Let's see. It goes 31.5 knots, which apparently is 36 miles per hour, basically. I don't do knots, generally. Is the Nimitz still active? The fact that it's still active is kind of surprising. Let's see. Let's see what Wikipedia says. Okay, so, yeah, apparently it was commissioned in 1975. So I'm assuming that the majority of the people who are manning that boat right now, their parents might not even been alive when this was fucking commissioned. Say like if someone's my age and I have a 20-something-year-old kid who's all there. You know what I'm saying? So this might be older than some of the parents of the kids on that fucking boat right now. Fucking nuts. And they're sending this out to the freaking, where the fuck are they sending this? Exactly where? Like, let me... well, it's being sent to the Middle East. I was just trying to see if it would give me a more or less location, but I guess in a way they probably wouldn't do that. Satellite images show the U.S. naval vessel deploying ahead of possible strikes on Iran. Oh, wow. What an interesting thing to say. Let me pull this back up for you. Hold on. I love this. This article. No, the U.S. Navies will not be destroyed in a false flag operation. Yeah, because they would fucking tell us, right? Of course they'd fucking tell us. No, we're not doing a false flag. Don't worry. Although, since so many people called out that possibility, they might not now. They might not now because nobody would fall for it. Everybody would be like, no, we knew this was going to fucking happen. Sometimes calling shit out might actually prevent false flags because, again, if nobody's going to fall for it, everybody's like, oh, we know what you fucking did. It kind of defeats the purpose of it. But the fact, what is this? The national interest. I'd never heard of that article. It's a blog. Well, of course, it's a fucking blog. But yeah, no, the U.S. Navies will not be destroyed about it. Of course, yes, because they would tell you, right? They'd be like, oh, you got us. No. We made it hotter than the sun. I fucking bet. Like, no doubt. The threat to the U.S. is in Washington. Amen. Wearing ties and pantsuits. The U.S. shouldn't be surrounded and threatening Iran, who's of no threat. Yeah, because they haven't fucked with us. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not that Iran can't be a threat to us. Any country with enough power can be a threat to us. But basically, if we go on that premise, then you basically want to take down any country who might be competing with you, whether they've done anything or not. Again, that's because some crazy ass behavior. Let me see. Oh no! There we go. Okay, I thought I lost it for a second. Indeed. All right, let me get back to my little thing. So I do think something's going to happen. I think he's waiting a couple of weeks for whatever false flag they've decided to fucking do to happen so they can have an excuse to get in there because we really have no business in there, to be honest. I love this so much. I love how Tucker Carlson has absolutely just dog walked Ted Cruz. It's some of the best. It's one of the best interviews I've ever seen. It's so fucking phenomenal. Like, I mean, he starts really hurting dudes' feelings. Like Tucker Carlson clashed over U.S. military involvement in the Middle East, with the latter shouting, "You don't know anything about Iran." And because he was asking Ted Cruz, like, do you know how many people are there? Do you know, like, anything about these people? And Ted Cruz was so fucking worked up. Oh, good. It has some of the shit here. This is great. All right, so how many people live in Iran, by the way? Tucker asked. I don't know the population at all. You don't know the population of the people you seek to topple. When Cruz was questioned on why Iran's population figures matter, well, it's relevant if 90 million or 80 million or 100 million. Carson pushed further, asking Cruz about the country's ethnic composition. They're Persians and predominantly Shia. That's I believe Shia is a part of Islam. Like, I think it's a sect of Islam. It's Persian would be more of an ethnicity. Shia would be more of a religious thing. But I don't know. Anyway, and he's like, you don't know anything about Iran. The exchange escalated when Cruz claimed the U.S. was already conducting military operations. We are carrying out military strikes today. Only then to clarify in a follow-up that he meant America's support for Israel rather than direct action. Carlson goes, you just said we. This is high stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the U.S. government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening. Yeah, if you'd seen the interview, Ted Cruz was so fucking flustered. It was fantastic. Oh my God. I've not seen a single conservative come to his fucking aid yet. Like, I think a lot of the conservatives are staying quiet because he fucked himself up so bad in that interview. Nobody's defending him as far as I can tell. Nobody wants any of that smoke right now, for sure. While Trump's personal authority remains largely unchallenged, the coalition of his supporters face a serious internal test. Prominent American isolationists, including Carlson, Steve Bannon, and the House of Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene, argue that military intervention would betray Trump's America First principle. Correct. pro-Israel hawks like Cruz and his fellow Senator Tom Cotton, who's a piece of shit, mind you, and the commentator Mark Levin, who's a fucking idiot, contend that it serves America's interest to confront a regime that has plotted against Trump. There is no proof that Iran did that. And they're talking about that fucking weird incel-looking guy in fucking Pennsylvania that like nicked him in the ear. That's who they're referring to. I'm pretty sure Iran could have come up with a better shooter than that. You know? Anywho. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Steve Bannon has warned the Middle East military involvement could distract from domestic priorities like mass deportation. Or, again, have his focus on Iran so they don't see... Because a lot of people were watching people being kidnapped off the street and arrested, even people who are legally here. So they probably want to distract us from a few different things. A division has grown so pronounced that Trump publicly rebuked Carlson for his opposition to attacking Iran. Somebody please explain to Kooky Tucker Carlson that Iran can never have nuclear weapons. And this sentence right here, this bit, has been parroted. This has been copied and pasted to almost all of Trump's friends and news things. That, like, word for word. Like, I guess that's the bullet points they were told to repeat. Cruz defended himself after the Carlson dust-up, accusing the TV host of playing a gotcha on the population of Iran. Now, he got him on a whole lot of shit. Not just the population of Iran. He dog-walked Ted Cruz. I declined to play that silly game. No. He was like, I'll talk to you about Iran if you want, and then kept getting fucking hammered. He was so bad. I almost felt bad for Ted Cruz. It was that bad. He accused Carlson of attacking Trump and disputed Carlson's claim that Iran was not trying to assassinate Trump, which, if you watch the interview, he's like, you don't even believe that Iran is trying to attack Trump. And Carlson's like, I never said that. I just don't see what they would. I think they could have done a better job if they were really behind it. You know what I mean? The debate over entering another Middle East war also reflects other divisions within Trump's MAGA movement, particularly over immigration policies. But Trump has so far been able to broadly ensure conflicting opinions do not boil over into the public. J.D. Vance, once known as a skeptic of foreign intervention, says the president may decide he needs to take further action to end the Iranian enrichment. Trump's tough talk toward Iran has meanwhile intensified in recent days. On Monday, he wrote, everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. And the next day, we know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, at least not for now. Wow. Israeli strikes have so far killed 585 people in Iran, including 239 civilians, according to a Washington-based human rights group. Iranian retaliation has killed 24 Israelis and wounded hundreds more. And the reason for that is that Iran's strikes are more precise. Now, Israel will go and tell you that they do very precision strikes. They have an AI that helps them do this. But if you notice, everything Israel attacks is absolutely decimated. So if their weapons are so precise and their precision so good, then it shouldn't be that much of a clusterfuck unless they're doing it on purpose. Keep that in mind. So if Iran has only killed 24 people, it's not because they're bad at their job. They're more precise in what they're doing. And right here, it even says that Israel killed 239 civilians. That's messy fucking work. Messy work. Considering they have our money and our weapons, you'd think they would have done a better job. They just don't care. They just want to kill everybody. Anyway. This is hilarious. This is some out of touch, elitist fucking, affluent? Is that the word? Affluent? When you just don't, you're so rich or so powerful, you don't relate to normal people. Netanyahu says, I understand the true cost of war. My own son had to postpone his wedding. Oh, poor you. Hundreds of thousands of people in the last 2 years have been absolutely just about injured or killed in Gaza and the West Bank. Not to mention, what's been happening in fucking Syria. But, he knows the true cost of war because his son had to postpone his wedding. Oh, boo-hoo. Really? People are missing limbs. People are buried under rubble, but he knows the true cost of war. Wow. I just want to let that soak in for a second. Oh my God. That's like seeing a homeless, hungry person and going, I know how you feel. I miss brunch. Like, wow. I figured we just take it like, oh, yeah, Netanyahu shocks Israelis by describing personal cost of Iran war. Right? So even his people are like flabbergasted. They're like, the fuck? Dude, what? His people are running to fucking like missile shelters to hide or whatever. Bomb shelters? I think it's bomb shelters. And they're shocked that his personal cost was his son missed his wedding. Bro. I'm assuming that he does not plan on ever running for office again. Like, I don't think he is. I think, like, he's just doing so much reckless abandon and such out-of-touch shit. I can't with that. And then, the last bit of what I'm bitching about for the moment. Judge asked troops in Los Angeles... asked if troops in Los Angeles are violating the Posse Comitatus Act. I want to say probably yes. I in my personal opinion, I feel like even having the National Guard just about borderline violates. Just about. Because usually, for the most part, the National Guard is under the governor's control because I believe in states' rights. Not in that racist way like people have talked about, but I meant like in general. But yeah, when you call the Marines in, I feel like that's overkill. Because Marines are used to like crazy ass shit in war zones, not civilians who are pissed. That's not a good idea. All right, so California's challenge of the Trump administration's military deployment in Los Angeles returned to a federal courtroom in San Francisco Friday for a brief hearing about after an appeals court handed President Trump a key procedural win. The U.S. District Judge Charles Beyer put off issuing any additional rulings and instead asked for briefings from both sides by noon Monday on whether the Posse Comitatus Act, which forbids troops from conducting civilian law enforcement on U.S. soil, is being violated. Well, because at first they claimed that they were only deploying to make sure that federal buildings were safe, which I'm like, I feel like that's kind of trying to inch in, kind of get your foot in the door when you shouldn't. But it sounds plausible because federal building, I can understand it. But I feel like it's just an excuse to get their foot in the door so they can be there to actually violate the Posse Comitatus Act. The hearing happened the day after the Ninth Circuit Appellate Panel allowed the president to keep control of the National Guard troops he deployed in response to protests over immigration raids. California Governor Gavin Newsom said in his complaint the violation of the Posse Comitatus Act is imminent, if not already underway. Now, I feel like I'm in a weird fucking place where at this point in my life, I agree, God help me, I agree with Gavin Newsom. And I'm also, as far as internationally, I'm on the same team with Tucker Carlson and fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, I mean, it's a separate subject, but still, what the fuck? That was not on my bingo card. Gavin Newsom has actually been trolling Trump lately. It's actually pretty funny. A little surprised by it. Didn't know he had the balls for it, but surprised. I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom. I think he's a fucking twit, generally. In this particular situation, with just this, I can agree that this is concerning. We should not normalize military being deployed on civilians. You can't convince me different. The only time military should have anything to do with civilians is if there's like a natural disaster and they're trying to help save people. That I can understand because that's not trying to violate anything. That's trying to save people, and sometimes you need all hands on deck. I get that. This is not that. Sorry. National Guard troops have been accompanying federal agents on some immigration raids. See, that's a problem right there, because National Guard should not. I feel like that's not their place to do that. And Marines briefly detained a man on the first day they deployed to protect a federal building. I would like to see if there's any video for that, because, like, did the guy actually go up to the door and fuck with them, or was the guy on the street and they grabbed him and used that as an excuse? I don't know, because it's hard to trust anything. The marked the first. Am I reading that wrong, or like, am I high or something? Like, I mean, if it said this marked the first time federal troops detained a civilian since deploying, like, but demarked first. I don't know. That doesn't sound right to me. I don't know if I'm just stupid, but like it makes sense if it says this marked the first time federal troops detained a civilian since deploying. Like, that would make sense, but that's not what this says. So I feel like maybe I'm just dumb, but thankfully y'all can see it, so y'all can decide it. Oh, and here we are. Look how in danger they are. And somebody is putting down flowers. Yes, how dangerous. Honestly, if the judge said he couldn't, he'd done it anyway. Honestly, I think a lot of them should just fucking refuse. Like, if you have an unconstitutional order, you're supposed to refuse that order anyway. So, anyway. So that is me bitching and complaining. So yeah, there's a lot more to bitch about in general. Did I bitch about anything over here? Oh, that's still the APAC thing. I'm still hung up on that. I still want to show y'all. Oh, this guy's such a dipshit. Man, there's a lot of your politicians that are like. Oh yeah, this is $3 trillion total that we have given Israel. You know how many veterans and homeless? We wouldn't have homelessness if we fucking kept that money at home. I'm just saying. We'd also have, like, technically a lot less wounded veterans, because we wouldn't have been funding all the fucking crazy shit in the Middle East. Just saying. Oh yeah, this is an actual, like, presentation he was doing. The clock is ticking for Israel to stop Iran. And this one, I think this one was done in like 1997. Like, he keeps coming up with these silly. Oh, I'm sorry. This 2012. So yeah, he keeps like popping up trying to get people to have a fight with Iran. He did it in the 90s. He did it in like 2012, 2015, and now he's doing it now. And he comes up with these silly ass like little graphs he makes. They're actually so funny. It looks like a fifth grader is trying to do a presentation in class. Like, the clock is ticking. Yeah, so apparently they're like, oh, they're just a couple of weeks away from the final stage, and supposedly for the last 30 years. So every time, like I said, 1997-ish, early 2000s, mid-2000s, he comes up with the same thing. They're just 2 weeks away from making a nuclear weapon. They're going to kill us all. And Iran doesn't. They haven't. They don't. I mean, this is some cry wolf shit, if ever I heard it. But anyways, I love y'all. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. No. But thanks for listening to me bitch and complain. I love y'all. Y'all are awesome. And I don't know if I will keep doing this or not, because sometimes it just moves me and I have to bitch about things. But I've also been so disillusioned because everything just gets fucking worse. But I love y'all, and a little music thing, and we'll play the music. Maybe. Not working.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, got the fuck. And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant.